I didn't say
I don't
real
use
man.
that.
I said, listen, there's a maturation process. Right now, we have an arbitrary age of 18 that makes you a man. Why ain't that boy a man at 17 and 288 days of age? Why ain't he a man then? Why does he need to be 17 years, 365 days on the 365th
Have you ever
day
heard your
he
father?
becomes a
Have you
man?
ever heard your father say, "What's up, young man"?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear my father say that because I ain't
Have you
know
ever
my
heard
dad.
anybody say, "What's up, young man"?
I've heard other men say it, but
You're a man.
But-
You're just
you're
young.
not a man.
You are.
When do you become a man?
And until we start to accept that and stand on it, masculinity is always going to be under attack.
Darwin, when do we become
we
men?
don't even call ourselves man until we got a fucking paycheck.
Darwin, when do we become a man?
Even if you want to go and say, all right, when you're emancipated, whatever, he's living on his own, ain't he?
Yeah, if you start to listen, if you start provide, well, hold on, before we do that, what's the criteria of being a man? Because when a baby comes out the canal, are they a man when they're male? Are they a man?
Depends on the country, right? It's subjective.
They're baby though. They're
no
man
country that's gonna consider a baby fresh out the womb or goddamn man. Not one country.
Man.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like in some places it might be 15, right? Some places might be.
So
you're talking about you're talking about a male infant, right? When they're born, a male infant, is a man in the form of an infant.
Not this nigga being
manipulative. In the form of
no, I'm not.
No. See, Rose's point is basically you don't want to detach the word man because women weaponize that and use it to belittle. So we don't want to. Well,
see, in my book, that's what we call it. We call
care
it
because
man and
that's
woman.
our counterparts. That's who we deal with, right? And we want women.
So if they with your program, how they gonna weaponize it? How can a woman weaponize that if she's on your program? That means she's submitted to whatever you are.
So
she's
you're
on your
bringing
program.
it into like individual and stuff. We're talking about people who have platforms and influence. Use those terms, those as buzz terms to manipulate the masses, and that's one of the things we're trying to counteract.
As men, let's collectively try to have forget what women do, forget what other people outside of the six of us right now do. Let me just ask y'all. And I'm accepting what y'all answers are. Well, I'm not accepting Darwin's answer because that was crazy. A man in the form of an infant. What is when does somebody become a man to you, Trev?
It's subjective.
Okay,
I would say my subjective is when you're emancipated, when you are now fending for yourself.
Okay, so you're 16 years old. Your parents. You're 16 years old. And you have a job at McDonald's, you're emancipated, you making what? I don't know what they're making right now, $14, $15 an hour. You're saying that they're a man now?
They can afford to live.
What do you say he is?
So my answer would be it does depend on maturity, but technically, like historically, I would say after 13.
Okay,
like whenever after puberty.
So the puberty hits, and like you're saying. 13-year-old kid lives at home with their parents. They go through puberty. Boom. They're a man now?
Yeah. He's able to
I said historically. I'm speaking
able to procreate.
Okay, but y'all not even giving me answers on what y'all are saying. Just tell me what y'all think of man.
I just told you once you become able to procreate.
Maturity. Because
once he's able to populate the earth.
Darwin is saying if your reproductive organs start to give life, now you are a man.
If you are able to populate the earth, you are considered a man.
So at 13, hold on, wait. So at 13, hold on, wait. I'm about to ask this question then. So that means at 13, if he commits a crime, he should be tried as an adult.
They are some 13-year-olds are tried as adults.
No. Listen. For any infraction, you should be charged as an adult for said infraction, not the severity of the infraction. Any infraction, because you are technically a man.
According to the law, you are a teenager at 13.
No, we're asking.
Well, like he was just asking you about how you feel. Like
this was your world.
Your thoughts.
What age is a bar mitzvah? What age can you procreate? This historically speaking, that's why it's subjective, because in America it's what 18, 17, 18 is when you technically qualified as a man.
That was my whole point. It's subjective.
In other countries they would lower that age.
That's why he's
I think he was asking you. He's just asking you without looking at the law. Yeah, without looking at the law, without looking at how things.
Without looking at the law,
like how do you view it?
I don't believe anybody's a self-sufficient male until post 25.
That's I'm not talking about self-sufficient male, right? We're just asking you. Okay, listen, let me tell y'all what my idea is. Now, we don't have to agree, gentlemen. I'm just trying to understand y'all's understanding so I could try to apply some logic to what y'all are saying. Y'all could apply the logic to what I'm saying. It don't matter what the age is.
We can't apply because you haven't told us what you call him. If you don't call him a man, what is he? What is the polar opposite?
Wait. In my eyes, we have babies that are born who are born with a male sex organ and they're the male gender. As they grow up, they're a boy, child, whatever you want to call them. But as they hit that puberty stage, they are starting to, they go through their little metamorphosis and their body is starting to.
What is his name? Is he still a boy?
He's still a boy. Yeah, he's still a boy.
Okay. At what point
developing his man body?
At what point does he become a man?
I'm about to tell you. He's he's going to be a male forever, right? Because we don't switch to female ever. So he's a male forever. He grows into being a man. How do you grow into being a man? When you develop the necessary skill set to be self-sufficient. See, when you know how to hunt or work, when you know how to provide for yourself, when you know how to lead yourself, when you know self-guide, you don't need someone telling you anything to do. You're fully self-sufficient. Now, you don't have to be the smartest, you don't have to be the fastest, the strongest, but that's why I say a lover, leader, provider, protector. You got to provide for yourself, protect yourself, lead yourself, and love yourself. When you can fully do that, you don't have to be the best. You have to hit a sufficient mark.
So let me ask you,
don't need other people. As long as you still depend on people to provide for you, you ain't a man. You're an adult male.
So let me ask you this: if a young 17-year-old, he turns 18, he marries his high school sweetheart, is he still a male?
If does he live at his parents' house? Did him and his wife move into his parents' house?
They depend on each other. They got careers and they work together with each other.
Wait. Darwin, they're not having careers at 18.
Rephrase your scenario. What I'm saying, they're going off. They're continuing from 18 and on with their lives, and they're both contributing.
They both working, can contribute to a household, raising the baby.
You're saying that
listen to what I said. Now, don't conflate. Can he moved out at 13 himself without that marriage, or does he need her to help him take care of the bills?
She's a helpmeet.
I didn't ask that. Listen to what you're talking about.
So you're saying I know what you're doing now. You're saying that you're looking at the money he made, the bills.
No, I'm not looking at the money he makes. I'm saying, can he take care of himself, or does he need her to work to help him?
If they broke up, Will, and what I'm telling you is, they broke up, he wouldn't have a choice. He would probably go back home.
Hold on, let's make it simple. Let's make it simple. If they broke up, he can get his own 1-bedroom apartment or studio apartment to take care of himself.
If he can take care of himself, he's a man. If he cannot take care of himself,
said he was 13 and he was
I'm out at 13.
If he's 13 and he can love, lead, provide, and protect himself, he is a man.
Yeah, 13. I lived with my girlfriend. I moved out, and yeah.
So do you believe
with your girlfriend? You ain't a man. You live.
Listen to me. I made my own money. I lived with my girlfriend at 13. We stayed together.
Whose house was it?
Her mother had a rental unit.
You ain't a man.
Oh, you come on, man. So let me ask you this, Will. Can you come from a man back to a male?
Yeah.
How?
You can lose your manhood, sir. Yes.
No. What do you mean by lose your manhood?
When you can no longer. Okay, look. When guys are homeless on the street, we're like, look at that homeless man. That ain't a man. That's a homeless male. He cannot take care of himself.
So now,
listen. If he's choosing to live on the streets because that's where he wants to be, then you can't hold it against him. It's he can take care of himself.
And I think we're left off with
take care of yourself.
Subjective.
No, it's not subjective. It's can you take care of yourself?
This is y'all hold on, wait. You're arguing what he believes a man is. That's why he asked y'all, what do you believe a man is? So he can discuss it from your perspective.
Right.
He was just giving his perspective just for the sake of y'all understanding.
Well, I'm saying like it's all subjective then. Because if he's saying,
what about your subject?
Yeah, but y'all haven't even established to tell me.
I just told you. I told you. I don't care if he. Let's say, for example, this man becomes self-sustaining. He got his own. He can take care of himself. Some woman accused him of something. He had to go to jail. He loses all this stuff, and he comes back out. But he's got to stay at home with a relative until he get. I don't call him a male. He's still a man. He just had a setback.
That's fine. I understand. And because we have a society, the way we talk to each other, we look at them. Once you're an adult, we call you a man.